So today we discuss tabulation. That is the next topic in classification of data. So when we classify the data, we put them in a table form to condense the size of the data, to reduce the size of the data, and quantitative data. For quantitative type of data, we prepare frequency table or frequency distribution. So in frequency distribution, discrete type of frequency distribution and continuous frequency distribution and open and class interval frequency distribution and finally bivariate frequency distribution. So among these we discussed all the topics. Now when qualitative kind of data comes, so it is difficult to prepare frequency table because qualitative aspect we cannot measure them, just we can count them. So such data when it comes to gender, male, female. So in a population, in the classroom, or in a city, in a village, we can count how many male population is there, how many females are there. Newly born babies. So we can count male newly born baby, female newly born baby. And when it comes to various aspects like occupation, course selected in the college, and subjects opted, then various religion, the place living in or country. So various aspects where counting comes and not measuring. So when we measure, it goes to quantitative data and we prepare frequency table. And when qualitative data comes, we prepare table, and for that table we call it as a tabulation. So tabulation is a process of arranging the systematic arrangement of the classified data in a rows and columns. So in a rows and columns. So there we prepare only two columns, and in the column we mention one column for discrete series or for class intervals, and another column where we show frequencies for each class or each discrete value. So what is X value and how many items are there. So here we arrange in a table form. The table may be just having two columns or maybe two rows or maybe multiple rows and columns. So while discussing the qualitative data, so then I said something about that is qualitative data dichotomous table. So dichotomous means only two aspects. So if one is present, another will be absent. So if a male student exists, then female will not be there. Okay. So only two types: married, unmarried. So dichotomous, only two aspects. So then if we prepare such a table, it is called as a dichotomous table. And here if you prepare for more than one aspects, two items at a time, male, female, one aspect, and married, unmarried. So male married, male unmarried, female married, female unmarried. So a simple table which describes data relating to, so how many are married males and unmarried males, and how many are married females and unmarried females. So based on this we can again classify the data: two-way table, manifold table. Okay, so two-way where it gives only two aspects: married, unmarried, or male, female. So manifold, so where it contains many aspects, not only just married, unmarried, male, female. Along with that, maybe occupation, along with maybe family size, or maybe their religion and their qualification. So different aspects that we call it as a manifold table. Okay, now come back to again tabulation. What are the objectives of tabulation. Why we need it? What is the purpose of tabulation? So tabulation, it just simplifies the data. So huge number of, when we collect the data from the public by maybe filling the questionnaire, at that time we have a bundle of question papers. So thousands of people or hundreds of people fill the questionnaire and they will give. So it will be in that bundle of papers. Just one cannot read them, so we classify them and we arrange them in a table. So in one single table, we can refer entire data. So out of 1,000 people, how many are male and how many are female? So from this table, we can get that. And again, out of those male and female, how many are married and unmarried? So in one single table, we get that data. If this data is not fit in the table, then we have to refer all the questionnaires there. So it simplifies the data. So in one single table, we can refer it. Then it facilitates comparison. So the table here, so male and female, we can compare how many male are responded and how many female are responded, and how many male are married, how many females are married. So we can have a comparison between one aspect to another aspect. So how many are married, how many are unmarried, where how many are in different occupations. So how many students opted science course, how many students opted commerce course, or maybe what is the religion of the students. So various aspects we can compare. How many are Hindus, how many are Muslims, how many are Christians. So various aspects we can compare here with help of table. If table is not prepared, if the data is not put in the form of tabulation, then it is difficult to compare. So tabulation allows to compare with each other. Then it facilitates, it give an identity to the data. So questionnaire doesn't give any identity. So just questionnaire, we can tell, okay, this questionnaires are the result of the research or based on this topic. So nothing one can come out of it. But when we prepare a table, so we can name it. So what is this table? So this table, it gives the gender-wise marital status of the population. So gender-wise, gender, male, female gender, and married, unmarried. So marital status, married or unmarried. Again, gender-wise, it has divided it, classified it, and it has shown in the table. So we can give an identity to this table. So if another table is prepared where occupation is given, so occupation of the table shows the occupation of the people, gender-wise occupation of the people. So male, female, what work they are doing. Qualification, gender-wise qualification. So and even profession as per the marital status and their occupation. Married, how many are working, unmarried, how many are working in different field. So that we can give that table name here, and one can easily go to that table and you can retrieve the required information from that table. So it gives the identity to the table and reveal the trend and tendencies of the data. Trend and tendencies. If you have a male and female, their occupation. So what is the trend? How many males are there and how many are married, and how many married are working, how many females and how many of them are married and how many of them are working, how many are unmarried and they are working. So with help of maybe previous data, we can compare and we can tell that also what is the present generation, where it is going. Not only population, just it is an example I have taken here. So that what people, based on, if I take example of people, it is better to understand. Even we can take example of various aspects. Sales. So what are the sales, whether they are increasing or decreasing, in which month sales are more, what is the pattern of the sale, whether it fluctuates or it gradually growing or decreasing, even profit of the companies and production and labor satisfaction, even income of the people and their expenditure pattern. So how it is, whether it is increasing, decreasing, what trend it is showing, we can compare with help of the table here. And next, for diagrammatic and graphical representation, tabulated data is essential. So if you want to show the data with help of a diagram or graph, so tabulation form is important. It may be frequency distribution table or maybe this tabulation form. That is must. Without you tabulating the data, how can one show with the help of the diagram here? So now here we can prepare a diagram. So male. So 60 males are there married, and 50 unmarried males are there. Now females. 40 females are married. 40 females are unmarried. So total married people 100 and total unmarried people are 90. So total male 110 and 80. Total 190 people. So we have surveyed 190 people. Out of them 60 are married male and 40 are married females. So with help of a table or a graph or picture, we can show this. If this is not put in this table, so we cannot show it in the form of table there. So for each male, can we draw each bar? So first observation male, second observation female, third observation again female. So no. So one cannot refer that diagram or graph also. So here this we can give a particular picture here. So married male and married female with help of one bar. So one bar shows married male, married female. Then unmarried male, so unmarried female. So each bar showing one aspect, or maybe total male population married, unmarried, and total female population married, unmarried. So with the various type of graph or diagrams, we can show the data when we figure them in the table. Otherwise, not possible. So, and last, it facilitates computation of various statistical measures like average, dispersion, and correlation. So, here it not only refers to this table, frequency table. So, with help of frequency table, we can prepare or we can analyze the data by calculating averages and dispersion, that is the variation, what is the gap between the average and the least and the highest value of the data observations. And even we can compare the correlation for bivariate data, whether what trend it is showing. If increase in one aspect, whether it is leading to the increase in another aspect or not, whether it is decreasing another aspect. So those all things we can calculate with help of what here? Table. So without a table, we cannot calculate anything. If the data is not put in the form of a frequency table, so how do one calculate the averages? By studying all thousand, the bundle of questionnaires? No, it is highly impossible. So even raw data, there is a formula to calculate mean all averages for raw data also. But that is possible when only few aspects are there. In a classroom, I study all first year statistics students from Prerna College. Only 12 students are there, so I can collect data and directly I can calculate. But in a college, when thousands of students are there, can I collect data from each student and can I calculate average? No, it is not possible at all. If it is possible also, then it takes a huge time. So to reduce the time, to make the comparison, to analyze the data, to present the data, tabular form is must. So these all are the advantages and the objectives of tabulation. Next one is parts of table. What are the parts? When table is there, we can have parts here. So first here, table. It should have a name. So without name, how to recognize the table? So because when we collect the data, Just we don't collect one single information. For example, the questionnaire of English medium, which we learned in the previous chapter, their questionnaire is prepared to ask whether parents are interested in admitting their children in English medium or not. So directly we have not asked there whether they want to admit their child from first standard itself to English medium. No. Along with that, we asked many aspects there. And many of them are qualitative and many of them are also quantitative. That means here we cannot prepare or put all the data in one single table. So when we asked the qualification, so for qualification and their gender, we can put in one table. And when we asked their native place, whether they are belongs to Karnataka or other state, so again separate table for that. If we put all the data in one single table, it is hectic. It becomes difficult to read and understand that table. So how many questions are there? Minimum that many tables will come. Even if we want to go for depth study, double or triple of that questions table will come. Gender and their state, gender and their qualification, gender and their opinion. So for each aspects also we can come for comparison purpose, we can prepare many tables. Gender, occupation, gender, qualification, gender, their opinion. Okay, so gender wise opinion, gender wise qualification. So when many tables are there, how to understand which table, what this table is showing? So we name each table. That is called as what? Title. Title. And even we can number the table. So how many tables we have prepared? So when we assign the number to each table, it is easier to recognize also. First, so we write table number. Table number, and then we write title to the table. Okay, so here title number, which we write if it is the table we are preparing. So at the right side top we write table number. Table number 1, 2, 3, 4. How many numbers may come? We write at the top right side. And next we write table title, the heading of the table. So what it's showing? So table showing gender wise occupation of the population, gender wise opinion of the population. So we give the heading to the table so that reader can understand it. Okay, this table gives this data, whether I need it or I have to move to next table. So that can be analyzed with help of the table name. Or even we can give index. In the index we can write how your chapter wise index is given in beginning itself. So like that here, table number, what is the table name? So that even a reader can directly reading the content part, he can go to that page directly to refer that table. So table number and title of the table we write. Then we give third head note and or subtitle. So here we write head note or another name subtitle. So left side top corner of the table, above the table. So table number, then the title in the middle, in the center, then left side top, you write head note. So head note gives here what measurement you have taken inside the table. So here title, table number and the title shows the what is there in the table. So population, gender wise their occupation. Then here we may write the numbers, gender, male, female, and here their occupation, working, not working, and total. So here we write 10, 15. So 5, 8, something we write. So that means whether that 10 indicates only 10 people we met or what. So when big numbers are there, we reduce them to make the understanding, to make it easy to understand the table. Then we write here in the head note. The figures are given in thousands. So you might have referred in while studying in 10th also. So class intervals in thousands. The weight of the production in rupees, in dollars, or production capacity in tons, in 1000 kgs, in quintals. So like that here, what measurement we have taken here. So then if it 10,000 is there, we reduced it to 10. Then we mention it in thousands, in millions, in tons. So what measure we have taken, that we mention in the table. And next comes captions. So captions are nothing but column headings. So here we write what? Occupation, working, officer, clerk. Two designation I have written here. So this column shows the workers, the persons working as an officer, and this column shows who are working as a clerk. So this is the heading, title or heading of this column, and this clerk is the heading of this column. So captions are nothing but what here? Headings of the columns or name given to the column. And this question along with next point, steps, will be asked for 1 or 2 marks regularly. Most of the time this question is asked. This is the important part of the table also. And here also we have given the titles male, female. So this row shows how many males are there and how many males are working as officer, how many males are working as a clerk. So these two titles are given to the rows here. Table number we write top corner, table heading in the center, then we write head note, so any details put in the table, and these column headings are called as a caption and row headings are called as the steps. And next, any information regarding what you have written here inside, so that we give to for the understanding of the people who refer the table. So we may mark as a star here. So star mark means something is there about that point. So that we give hint about that point, we give hint to the reader. So that we write here in the name footnote. So left bottom corner of the table, outside the table, we write here footnote. So this give information regarding the what is there inside. So how we have taken. Then next comes source. So source is nothing but from where we have collected the data. Source, so from where we have taken the data. How we have collected. Whether we have collected directly from the field asking questions to the respondents, or whether we have collected it from the secondary source. So from where we have collected that information. Whether we have collected it for municipal or corporation, whether we have collected it from bank, whether we have collected it from the government, so our particular department. So from where we have collected, that will be mentioned in source. And whatever information we have put in the table, this part is referred as a body of the table. So this is a table number we write here, and table title we write here. Head note, we give note about the information inside here, and these are column heads, and here are the row heads. And this part is what? Body of the table. So in the body of the table, all the data studied or given from the questionnaire will be put in this body of the table. And finally, footnote is given to that data, and the source from where we have collected will be provided here. So this is the format of a table or tabular form here. So This format may be asked for 5 marks. So you give a format of the table, or maybe a question is given where we can prepare a blank table for the data, or maybe along with the data information, question may be asked where we have to prepare a table with the data filled inside.